The universe is abundant, and this truth forms the foundation of every teaching on prosperity and manifestation. Abundance is not something we must create. It already exists in infinite measure. From the rising of the sun to the endless flow of the oceans, from the countless stars in the night sky to the air we breathe, creation itself testifies that there is no shortage in divine supply. Lack is a construct of the human mind, born from fear, doubt, and the belief that resources are limited. But in reality, the universe reflects the nature of its creator, limitless, generous, and ever-flowing. When a person recognizes that supply is infinite, a shift takes place in their consciousness. They move from a mindset of struggle to one of trust, from fear to faith. Money, opportunities, and blessings are not withheld from us, but our thoughts and words often act as barriers. By believing in lack, we cut ourselves off from the stream of plenty that is already flowing toward us. In contrast, by aligning with the truth of abundance, we open the gates for blessings to manifest in visible form. The spiritual law is simple. Whatever you focus on expands. Focus on lack, and you see more lack. Focus on abundance, and abundance reveals itself in countless ways. Abundance is not limited to money, though money is one of its forms. It is health, love, joy, ideas, and success. Yet when we specifically desire financial prosperity, we must remember that wealth is simply one channel of universal good. To say the universe is abundant is to affirm that there are unlimited channels for wealth to reach you. No employer, client, or business opportunity is your true source. They are only instruments through which divine supply flows. The real source is infinite and cannot be exhausted. Imagine the difference between living with a cup mentality and an ocean mentality. The cup mentality believes there is only so much to go around, and once the cup is filled, nothing more can be had. The ocean mentality knows that even if you take as much as you desire, the ocean is not diminished. This is how divine abundance works. Your prosperity does not take away from another, just as another's prosperity cannot diminish yours. There is more than enough for all. When you accept this truth deeply, you stop competing, worrying, or comparing yourself to others. You release envy and desperation, for you know that your supply cannot be blocked by another person's actions. Opportunities that belong to you will never pass you by. The universe works in perfect order, and when you affirm abundance, it begins to align circumstances, events, and people to bring forth your good. Affirming abundance trains your subconscious to expect prosperity. The mind that expects scarcity finds proof of scarcity, while the mind that expects plenty finds open doors and unexpected blessings. By choosing to dwell on the truth that the universe is rich and overflowing, you tune yourself to its frequency, and what you affirm inwardly manifests outwardly as visible prosperity. Your word is your wand, and with it you shape the experiences of your life. Every word spoken carries vibration and power, and the universe responds to the tone and intention behind those words. To understand this is to recognize that language is not casual or insignificant. It is creative. Just as an artist uses a brush to create a picture, you use words to paint the conditions of your life. Words are seeds, and once they are spoken, they go forth to bring back a harvest in exact likeness to the thought that birthed them. When people complain, speak fear, or declare lack, they unknowingly call forth more of the very conditions they wish to escape. The statement, "I never have enough money," may seem like an expression of frustration, but spiritually, it is an order placed with the universe for more lack. On the other hand, a declaration such as "I am supplied with every need in perfect time and in perfect ways" sets a new order into motion, summoning prosperity and solutions. The law does not question whether words are spoken lightly or in seriousness. It simply fulfills them. This is why careful, deliberate speech becomes one of the most powerful tools for transformation. Your subconscious mind receives your words as commands. Repetition of fearful words impresses fear upon the subconscious, creating outer experiences that confirm the belief. Repetition of affirmations of abundance impresses prosperity and opens doors for divine supply. By speaking words of power with conviction, you shift not only your inner state, but also the outer circumstances. The spoken word acts as a bridge between thought and manifestation, moving ideas from the unseen into the seen. Faith-filled words spoken aloud strengthen belief. It is one thing to think I am prosperous, but when the words are voiced, energy is released. This energy aligns with universal law, which has no choice but to reflect back what is declared. This is why affirmations, decrees, and spoken prayers hold such great significance. They carry the authority of creation. Your word is never empty. It is always performing a task, either constructing or destructing, either blessing or binding. To wield this wand wisely, one must cultivate awareness. It is not enough to speak affirmations occasionally and then cancel them with words of doubt. The tongue must be disciplined to speak consistently in alignment with truth and abundance. Every word is like a match. One can light a lamp with it, or one can set a fire that destroys. With practice, one learns to pause before speaking to ensure that every statement is one of faith, not fear. When you begin to treat your word as sacred, you discover its power to transform your financial state, your relationships, and your health. Speaking words of life calls forth opportunities and unexpected blessings, for the law of words cannot fail. The spoken word, aligned with faith, is the divine wand that turns invisible supply into visible manifestation. The command for wealth is a decree spoken with faith, conviction, and expectation, for it is not a plea to the universe but a statement of truth. When you say, "I now release and let go of every false belief in lack, I stand in the abundance of God, and I call forth large sums of money under grace in perfect ways within the next 24 hours, you are not asking timidly. You are declaring with authority. This command is powerful because it aligns the conscious and subconscious mind with the law of supply, cutting off the patterns of fear and replacing them with certainty of abundance. To release false beliefs in lack is the first and most essential step. Many people unknowingly hold thoughts that money is hard to come by, that wealth is reserved for others, or that prosperity is wrong to desire. These beliefs act as chains that keep supply from flowing freely. When you speak this command, you are announcing to your subconscious that those chains are broken. You are affirming that you will no longer accept poverty thinking as your truth. The second part of the command acknowledges your place in divine abundance. To stand in the abundance of God is to recognize that supply is spiritual, infinite, and ever-present. Money, in this sense, is only one channel through which abundance expresses itself. By affirming that you stand in abundance, you align yourself with the flow of provision and prepare your life to receive in unexpected and miraculous ways. This is not about striving or struggling. It is about realizing that you are already connected to the source of all wealth, and that the supply you seek is already prepared for you. The most striking aspect of this command is its specificity. It does not merely say that money will come someday. It declares that large sums of money appear in less than 24 hours. Such specificity stirs faith and sets an expectation. Faith always works with clarity, and when the command is spoken with full belief, the law of supply begins arranging circumstances, opening channels, and creating swift opportunities for money to manifest. What seems impossible to human reasoning is simple to divine law, which is not limited by time, space, or human calculation. The phrase "under grace and in perfect ways" is crucial. It acknowledges that money will not come through harm, loss, or struggle, but through channels that are harmonious and right. Grace ensures that the manifestation arrives without negative consequences, and that it blesses not only you but others as well. By including this phrase, you surrender control of the how and where to divine wisdom, trusting that what comes will be good, perfect, and timely. When spoken with unwavering conviction, this command rewrites the subconscious mind, clears away fear-based beliefs, and activates the unseen law of prosperity. Each time it is spoken, it deepens faith and heightens expectation. The universe responds to this decree as it would to a royal command, because in truth, you are co-creator with divine intelligence. The moment the command is spoken, the wheels of manifestation begin to turn, and the supply that belongs to you starts making its way into visible form. Faith over fear is the dividing line between lack and abundance, between closed doors and open ones. Fear is the great paralyzer of supply. It contracts the mind, shuts down creativity, and blocks the flow of good that is trying to reach you. Fear whispers that there is not enough, that money is scarce, that opportunities are slipping away. It keeps the mind fixed on limitation, and because thought shapes reality, those limitations soon become visible conditions. Faith, on the other hand, expands the mind, opens channels, and invites prosperity to flow. It is the assurance that even when the way is unseen, the law of supply is working perfectly on your behalf. When one commands wealth or speaks affirmations, fear often tries to contradict the words. The thought arises, what if it doesn't work? What if nothing shows up? These doubts weaken the power of the declaration because the law responds not only to words, but to the belief behind them. Faith is what fuels the command, giving it life and energy. To overcome fear, one must anchor the mind in truth. The universe is abundant, God is the source of all supply, and lack is an illusion. By holding to these truths, the grip of fear loosens, and the authority of faith takes over. Faith does not beg, it declares. It does not wonder, it expects. A person walking in faith knows that every word spoken in alignment with truth has already set the law in motion. They no longer waste time asking how or when the money will appear, for those questions belong to fear. Faith rests, trusts, and waits in expectancy. This expectancy itself is magnetic, drawing opportunities, people, and circumstances that bring the supply swiftly. Fear, in contrast, pushes good away by doubting its possibility. Many people are unaware that fear is a form of faith in the negative. It is belief in failure, belief in lack, belief that something will go wrong. The same energy that could be used to affirm abundance is misused to affirm the opposite. Once this is understood, it becomes clear that energy must be redirected. Instead of repeating fearful statements, such as "I never have enough," the mind must be trained to declare faith-filled words, such as "money comes to me easily, quickly, and under grace." Over time, these affirmations replace fearful thought patterns and establish a consciousness of wealth. Faith is also strengthened by action. When one acts as though supply is already present, it demonstrates trust in the unseen. This may mean giving freely, investing in oneself, or stepping into opportunities with courage. Each act of faith dissolves fear a little more, proving to the subconscious that abundance is real and ever-present. As faith grows, fear loses its power entirely, and the flow of money and blessings becomes natural and continuous. To live in faith is to live in freedom, for fear no longer rules the mind or conditions. Faith is the key that unlocks the vault of divine supply, while fear is the lock that keeps it closed. Choosing faith opens the floodgates of abundance and allows large sums of money to appear quickly, easily, and in perfect ways. To release and trust the law is to recognize that manifestation is never the product of human effort alone, but the result of aligning with spiritual principles that never fail. When a person speaks a command for wealth or affirms prosperity, the natural tendency is to wonder how it will come about. The mind seeks control, planning every possible path and attempting to manipulate circumstances. Yet this constant effort only creates tension and delays the manifestation. The spiritual law operates beyond human reasoning, arranging conditions in ways the intellect cannot foresee. To release means to let go of the need to figure out the details and to trust that the law is already at work. Trusting the law requires an inner shift from doubt to certainty. Just as gravity works whether or not we think about it, the law of supply is always functioning. Seeds planted in the soil sprout without our supervision, guided by unseen forces. In the same way, words spoken in faith are seeds planted in the fertile ground of the subconscious, and they must bear fruit in due season. When a person releases their command into the universe, they must resist the urge to dig up the seed with worry or impatience. Instead, they rest in assurance that what has been spoken is already on its way. The phrase letting go does not mean indifference or passivity. It means confidence. It is a calm knowing that the law is precise, that it never forgets, and that it cannot fail. This confidence creates peace of mind, which in itself is fertile ground for manifestation. Worry, on the other hand, is like weeds that choke the seed before it has time to grow. When one releases fear and doubt, the energy once wasted on anxiety becomes available for creativity, gratitude, and joyful expectancy. Another key to releasing and trusting is understanding that the supply may not come in the exact form the mind imagines. Divine intelligence knows the perfect channel, the perfect time, and the perfect way. Sometimes the answer is greater than what was requested. Sometimes it arrives from a completely unexpected direction. By holding rigid ideas of how money must come, people block the very avenues through which abundance could flow. Trust allows for flexibility, keeping the channels open for miracles. Living in this principle transforms the way one approaches challenges. Instead of panicking when bills arrive or when opportunities seem scarce, the individual declares their good, releases the outcome, and trusts the law to deliver. They no longer act from desperation but from calm authority, knowing that provision is assured. In this way, they demonstrate the truth that life is not governed by chance but by spiritual order. To release and trust the law is ultimately an act of surrender to divine wisdom. It acknowledges that the universe is infinitely wiser than human calculation and that its laws are exact. By letting go of control and placing faith in this law, one steps into the flow of abundance where everything arrives in perfect timing, under grace, and in complete harmony. Expecting swift manifestation is an essential principle in calling forth abundance, for expectation is the magnet that draws results into visible form. When a person makes a decree or speaks an affirmation but does not truly expect anything to happen, the words lose their creative power. Expectation is faith in action. It is the inner certainty that what has been spoken is already on its way, that unseen forces are even now arranging circumstances, and that money or opportunities can appear in ways that transcend ordinary logic. The spiritual law responds not only to what is said, but to the expectancy behind the words. For the universe mirrors the state of consciousness. Large sums of money can appear quickly because spiritual law is not bound by human timelines. What seems difficult, slow, or impossible to reason can happen in an instant when faith is present. Stories of unexpected checks, sudden gifts, or immediate business opportunities are not accidents. They are evidence of the power of expectation. The one who speaks with unwavering certainty creates a clear channel through which supply can flow. The one who hesitates, doubts, or delays with thoughts of maybe later closes the channel and postpones the good that is already prepared. Expectation does not mean straining or forcing. It is not a tense waiting but a calm, joyful assurance. A person expecting manifestation carries themselves differently. They walk with confidence, speak with gratitude, and notice signs of abundance all around them. They do not continually question when or how the money will appear, because to question is to introduce doubt. Instead, they behave as though the manifestation is inevitable, as though it is already done. This posture of certainty draws the results swiftly, for consciousness and reality must align. There is also a spiritual reason why manifestation can happen quickly. When fear, doubt, and resistance are released, the channels for supply are cleared. Many delays occur not because the law is slow, but because the individual is still entertaining contradictory beliefs. The moment the command is spoken with full belief, the moment expectation replaces worry, manifestation rushes forward with speed. Time is only a measure for the human mind. In spirit, supply is instant. Expectation bridges that gap, collapsing time so that blessings appear sooner than the rational mind would allow. To expect swiftly is also to remain open to the unexpected. Money may come from sources never imagined. Opportunities may arrive suddenly, or a long-standing problem may dissolve overnight. The one who expects good is alert, ready to recognize and receive it. They do not dismiss opportunities as coincidence, but welcome them as the answer to their decree. Each manifestation strengthens the habit of expectation. building faith until it becomes second nature to assume that prosperity flows quickly and easily. By holding this consciousness, life becomes a series of demonstrations of the law. Instead of waiting months or years for supply, the individual comes to realize that large sums of money can appear within hours or days, depending only on the clarity of faith and expectation. This truth transforms lack into abundance and worry into peace, proving that the law of manifestation works swiftly for the one who dares to expect it.